Good extremely early morning to you, Internet. I said in my last vlog that I would make a video for my birthday. That goes to show you that I am a filthy, filthy liar. Because, yeah, on my birthday, I had lunch with my friends, and then I went from there pretty much straight to dinner with my family. And then I had to go study for 2 exams, which didn't leave a lot of time to make a video, so, fuck that noise. No, bad Kyle, bad Kyle. Don't curse so much in front of the camera. Bad. Sorry about that. Anyway, this is my, this is my no longer actually my birthday video. My unbirthday video. So, a very merry unbirthday to me, I guess. Ta-da! Hell, while I'm here, let's give some plugs. I love webcomics. I hope you guys love webcomics, because I'm about to talk about webcomics for what's probably going to be a rather long video if I know myself. Things like questionable content and XKCD, that goes without saying. Everybody loves those who just reads webcomics. You don't read webcomics without reading questionable content. You're not a nerd like me without reading XKCD. So, I'm going to skim over the big ones and try to spend a little more time on the ones that I think are not quite as well known. I don't need to spend my time telling people to go join Jeff Jacques' fan base. That guy could give a shit whether... Damn it! Bad Kyle! Bad Kyle! That guy could care less whether I plug him or not. It's not going to help his readership any, or hurt it, rather. I think the biggest other one that I read that's story-based is probably Misfile, which is about, let's see, a guy who woke up one morning and found that he had suddenly lost his Y chromosome. A girl who had just been accepted to Harvard when the last 2 years of her life were suddenly erased. And the pothead angel who made this all happen. I'm really tempted to follow up that description with, they fight crime. But really it's more like they fight a combination of Hell's Minions and menstrual cycles. Some of the other big ones I can just knock out real quick. Brawl in the Family is a great gaming comic. Scandinavia in the World, always funny for humor and trivia. If you are curious about what life and culture are like in anywhere in Scandinavia, particularly in Denmark. A Softer World, one of the one of the darker ones. Probably not the darkest of the webcomics that I read. I like dark humor. Cyanide and Happiness may well be darker than A Softer World in some cases. All those are in my webcomics bookmark folder. All those get opened and checked every day. So, on to some of the smaller gems. The Space Between is another slice of life webcomic, and a lot of these are slices of life. I am a fan. It's currently on hiatus at right around 200 pages, I want to say. The characters are a fairly standard pick and mix, but they're still well-rounded, and they're still flawed enough to be likable. So, while they're not lighting the world on fire for innovation in the character department, I absolutely can't fault them for it, because they're still very fun to read about and get to know. I'm eagerly waiting for his return. So, maybe I'll make an excited video when some of these webcomics that are on hiatus come back. Speaking of slice of lifes, I would be remiss not to use this perfect opportunity to segue into talking about Between Failures, which is, hands down, you see how down my hands are, hands down, the best slice of life webcomic that I have read since Questionable Content. I guess that's my opinion, so you can take that for whatever it's worth. But these characters, they're not just likable characters. They're not just believable characters. These characters, they're real. They're real. I don't know of finer praise a writer can get. It's incredible to me. Their personalities, their quirks, their flaws, their interactions. Thomas, Carol, Nina, Ed, Brooksy, even Reggie, the bastard. They're all people that you know. They're all people that I know. And that's the biggest reason why this comic works. Yet another slice of life, this one is finished, is Treading Ground, which features some excellent humor throughout, and some very, very, very not safe for work sections. So, read that one at home. The sort of spin-off, I'll say spin-off, I won't say sequel. The spin-off comic that he tried to jump right into after Treading Ground finished is called The Idle State. But that has gone on hiatus while the man figures out how he wants the story to go and doesn't just keep ending up with filler. Speaking of not safe for work, the idle state he has promised will be clean, by the way. But speaking of not safe for work, I also follow the ongoing saga of Chimney Speak? Chimney Speak. I almost said Chimney Sweep, but that's not right. It's a knockoff. Chimney Speak. Which is, let's see how I can sum this up. The story of a very rich courtesan in Victorian London. The girls at her brothel. The midget that she hires to do wet work. And how do I describe her? Good Lord. Chelsea Grin is a scary character. An immortal psychopath with sharpened teeth whose main goal throughout the story so far is to kill the royal family so she can ascend the throne. Again, I can't really say they fight crime because in this case, most of them are crime. On the subject of psychotic killers, I now segue into Ansem Retort. Ansem Retort is a sprite comic that uses Kingdom Hearts sprites, which basically asks the deep philosophical question of, what if all of the Kingdom Hearts characters had bizarre neuroses and horrible personalities, and were forced to do a Fox reality TV show? I don't know why I like this comic. I shouldn't. It's less than juvenile. It's insipid. But damn it, I can't stop coming back. Maybe I'm just afraid that if I give up on it or slam it too hard, Andrew Jackson's head is going to ride in on Sinistar and attack me with a core of werepires and... Forget what I just said. I love this comic. Video games, like Kingdom Hearts is, you can see I'm struggling more and more for links here. Video games are a popular fodder for webcomics, and to that end, I deliver GG Guys by Psy Guy and Crikey Dave, whose name I always mistype as Crikery for some reason, and Shot Glasses, which is a comic that's just in its infancy, maybe 40 pages long, and they don't come out very often at all, about three nerds who run a drinking establishment. Most of the humor in there is video game or comic book related. At time of writing, the comic is about desperately trying to find Stan Lee at a comic convention. I don't have another transition, I'm sorry. Keeping things moving. I mentioned earlier a liking for A Softer World. And along with that, and the very dark, cynical humor that I tend to enjoy, I offer you Pictures for Sad Children, which is probably not as unknown as I think it is, and Rock, Paper, Cynic, which I think is about as unknown as I think it is. I love both of these. truly, I think Rock Paper Cynic deserves the worthier mention. Although I think personally I did enjoy Pictures for Sad Children more. Rock Paper Cynic doesn't try to have an ongoing story for the most part. There are occasional small arcs, maybe 3 to 4 comics, I think as much as 7 at one point, but mostly they're observations. Very much in the style of A Softer World, except usually it's just one panel. And it's sometimes a very dark view, and sometimes there's some genuine brightness, some optimism. I don't know, I find the mixture very, very compelling. Last on the list that I'm totally not staring at as I talk to the camera are Tales from Planet Z, which was created by a guy that I met at ShadowCon, and thus I feel obligated to plug it here. He said he mainly needs readers to motivate him into continuing the story, so do it! Do it, man! Do it! And Spinneret, which I've talked about before, I think. Spinneret began as an affectionate parody of superhero comics in general, and Spider-Man in particular. And since then, while all that was very enjoyable, it has since evolved to include such things as a closet lesbian not quite cyborg in a maid outfit, a thinly disguised clone of that evil guy from BioShock, and naked time-traveling Benjamin Franklin. If that doesn't convince you to go read Spinneret, I don't know what will. So, yeah. Those are some cool webcomics that I read. You should read them too. All of them. Now. Until next time, this is BackslashEcho, signing off.